Lab number 24. In this lab, we will continue development of our CNN application, and basically we will focus on application structures. So let's get started with actually our app.js file, which is located under JS folder. And this file represents the main application structure. I mean the menu, which in our case, because it's Angular, it's provided via different states, and states are basically either abstract, like our menu, either the real states, which are our application pages. In this case, we have by default several pages. And basically what we will need to do, we will need to create three different type of pages. So one already exists, this is menu. So menu and ionic framework with this application template is actually a separate page, abstract page that will load as the side menu, and together in this page we will have the main view with the next state, and that state will be our main page that we will see when we will launch our app after the splash screen. And then after the main page we will also have the details page of the specific article. So basically the application behavior should be like this. When we open our app, we are grabbing the list of news from RSS and displaying them on the main page, and if you want to go and read the details of specific article, you just clicking on that article and get inside the next page. So basically menu will be as it is, I will keep it, and then we will create something called main. So the state will be app main, and the URL will be also main, and the template file, I mean the HTML file that will load for this main page will be renamed to main HTML. And we will need also the details page, so it will be details, and the URL will be details, and the template will be details also. And basically everything else can be easily removed, so we don't need that. I mean we already have everything else that is required for us, so we can just simply remove everything else. Just like this. And also, if nothing is happening, we will navigate to application main. So this otherwise means that instead of 404 page or something like that, we will be getting this main page as a default page if something doesn't go as needed. So this is the basic modifications that we were needed to do. And also let's do the following. Let's rename some of the templates file, for example browse. Let's rename it to main, and let's rename, for example, search to details, and we can remove everything else. I mean login, playlists, and playlists can be just simply deleted. So we have our structure, and now our app basically should be already a bit different. So when we will launch our app, we should see our main page, which will just contain the browse text, and that's it. So let's check it. I will use the build and deploy command. So we just need now to open our emulator and relaunch the app once again. So as you can see, the app has noticed that there is an update, and basically we are not seeing anything. Probably we missed something within development, but because we already know how to work with this, we can inspect the application and we can find out what is missing. So as you can see, the issue is that it is an expected token and app.js 55, and this is the location. So just here, it means that actually I forgot to remove this part, and we just need to do that. So let's go back to our app and app.js file and remove this part, save it, and once again build and deploy. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to define the issue by inspecting the logs, and Chromium is really helpful in that, the same as Google Chrome, of course. And basically when we install and deploy our app, once again we can then relaunch it and see what's happened. So another update, and here we go. So this is our app, and now if we will open the development tools, of course we will need to reattach the device once again. Let's launch it. We now see that the only thing in the console that actually caused an issue is the login HTML file that is missing. I believe some part of the code actually trying to access it, but it cannot be found because we deleted it, but we will fix it a bit later. So next thing is actually to modify the main page and details page, and for that we will open our text editor, open the main page and inspect it. So as you can see, there is a browse like a headline that we don't need actually. Instead of this, we will need some kind of list, and let's grab it from Ionic documentation from a list section. So there are different options how to display lists, and in our case I think the best way will be to use thumbnails list styling. So we'll just grab this portion of code and paste it here, and of course removing those three dots. So what will be there? Of course an image, because this will make our articles a bit fancier. Then some kind of title, then some kind of description, and we also will need something like publication date to keep tracking of news. Let's type something like this, pub date, and let's also change the title to news, for example. Let's preview our changes. While it's building, I will open the emulator and relaunch the app once again. So this is our small change. We will add some stylings later on, so we will make our picture suitable to those three items, and we will also change their styles a bit. But for now, it's fully okay. So basically, what will happen if the person will click on this article? He will need to go to details page, and we will need to display for him the details of this article. So actually we will need to provide some link, and instead of ref let it be ng-click, and this link actually will represent some kind of action that we will specify in order to change the state and go to another one. And let me remind you that in our case the states are our pages, and from state app main we will need to go to state app details. But in order to just go to that state, we will also need to do something in addition, and that additional stuff is actually that we will need to pass the information from our specific article to that state, so in order to display the details for this specific article and not just some dummy data. And the good way to do that is actually to use some kind of service, or well, basically the factory is also an option for Angular and Ionic, but because we are not considering this application development labs as the best practices, we just need to use to this mobile first platform related development approach. We will use just the direct moving of our item to this details page through our scope. So I will just pass everything that we have here in our article to the second page, and we will do that by some kind of custom functions. So in this particular case, let's create something like go-to function with some additional parameters that we'll specify later. So here will be our actually item that we will pass, and we will need to make some action inside our controllers file. So this one, and this file actually represents from the standard MVC approach like the controlling part. So how we're working with our data, and we already removed the playlists, so we don't need them either here. And we don't need everything that is here from the controller perspective, and we don't need those timeout and ionic model, so just scope for now. And basically, let's do the following in our controller. Let's create some kind of function within our scope. So we named it go-to, and this will be actually pretty simple for now. So it will just do the following. It will change the state. So in our case, we will navigate to new state, and we just named it like app details, as you remember. So just to clarify, this is the name of the state that we need to specify in order to change our page. So app details, and in order to use this state movement, I mean the navigation, of course we need to include state also here. So just like this. Actually this should change at a page. So we were on the main page, now we should get to the details page, and let's preview how it's working. So I will build and deploy once again, and I will also relaunch our app once again. So as you can see, our navigation is working. So when we clicked on our article, we went to the second page, which in our case is search, but of course we will change it also. So that page details will be just named details, for example, and instead of this search that we had by default, we will put the article details. So I will grab almost the same that we had here inside our main page for our details page. So it will be actually the title. After the title, let it be the publication date instead of description, and after publication date we will have the big image, and then description will go. So last thing that we will need to do is actually open the terminal to build and deploy once again, and of course restart our app to get the latest update. So this is how it looks. Of course, no stylings, no details, but this is what we were expected right now. And basically on this step, our lab 2.4 is finished. Thank you.